What's happening, Steeler Nation? Welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic. Let me make sure my microphone is turned up loud enough. It is not. There we are. Right there is where we need it. Right there. Welcome, everybody, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Blog Talk Radio is acting up. Wouldn't even let me connect, man. So I'm not going to be able to take phone calls tonight. I hate that because I really want to hear from SteelerNation, but that means I'll have to chop it up with you guys in the chat. But welcome, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Let's say hello to the early commenters and let's get right into business, man. I feel like I take too long getting started with the show. Let me get right to it. Let's say hello to a few early commenters. My man, Mark Cunningham in the building. Hello. The lovely Lanisha in the building, as well as Angie, a.k.a. Baby Steeler. Hello to our lovely ladies of SteelerNation. Fellas, make sure you lay out the red carpet. Welcome them with open arms. Crazy Ron Gaiman, Lee Sharp, Jack Bauer, Aaron Morris, my man Y Diggy in the building, Rajon 39 in the building. Look, guys, I've been punching powder again. Just washed my hands several times, and it looks like I forgot to re-moisturize them, so I'm going to keep them down. What else we got going on here? Who else is in here? David Jones Jr., Vista Light, Dietrich Bundick, Artist Himes. And we'll read a few more and then we'll get out of here. My man CT Pittman. Saw my man CT Pittman a little early. I posted some college football 25 footage, man. I hope you enjoyed that. Antoine Hill, my man, my brother Kenyon is in the building, man. And we'll end it right about there, guys, because I need to get right to it. Steelberg, what's going on, Steelberg? All right, so let's do it. First thing I'm going to talk about, man, is a few things that I observed, of course, from the Tomlin presser. First and foremost, he talked about injuries, so I'll talk about that as well. Basically, he confirmed that Nick Herbig could be categorized again as out with the hamstring. Zach Frazier categorized as out with an ankle. We had heard a few reports, and maybe you guys saw it as well. Reportedly, Zach Frazier was more week to week, day to day versus having any structural damage. So that's a good thing for the Steelers. Good thing, man. Hopefully we can get him back soon. I'll have to go back and take a look at how Ryan McCullum did in his absence. As I watched the All 22, I actually have got through three quarters of it, man. But I didn't hone specifically in on Ryan McCullum. But I'll go back and take a look at that. He did categorize a few people as possibly being able to work themselves back this week. That is one, Cordero Patterson. That is one, Alex Highsmith. He says he basically remains optimistic about Alex Highsmith's chances of being able to play this week. That would be great. Because, I would rather have Highsmith and TJ Watt with the way TJ Watt is playing, as well as maybe a Moon or whoever coming in as a compliment to spell one of those guys, as opposed to it just being TJ and one of the others. No disrespect, but y'all know what it is. I would rather get the starting two dogs back with a guy that can be decent, if you will. It's definitely not going to be the three-headed monster that we had with Herbig in the fold, but hopefully we can get Alex Highsmith back. KZ as well has a great chance of getting back. So couple guys, man, that have started this journey, as Tomlin would say, could be on their way back. So that is definitely good news. And of course, like we explained earlier, like I talked about Tuesday, Russell Wilson is fully healthy. We're going to talk about that. That is going to be my main point. My main point of the evening, I'm going to talk about Russell Wilson versus Justin Fields and give you my thoughts there. And that's pretty much all I took from Mike Tomlin. I mean, he pretty much left the door open, and I want to just say this, guys. I still don't understand why fans and media. Why do you feel as if Coach Tomlin or any coach? Again, I'm going to say any coach. It reminds me of Bill Belichick, and walk with me for a moment, guys. Remember how like mute Bill Belichick would be in press conferences? You know, people always want to say what Tomlin doesn't say, but do y'all remember how Bill Belichick used to handle the media? Yeah, we're on to the yeah, we're on to the whatever they was doing. He said we were on to that. Yeah, I don't know. I'll make a decision. Yeah, but we're on the next week. You know what I mean? He was very short with the media. So it surprises me, man, just to see SteelerNation as a fan base, but also even some of the media and the beat writers acting disappointed or saying what they feel like Tomlin should do or need do. And I'm like, guys, at the end of the day, and I will continue to say this, I'm pretty sure the football team knows what's going on, right? I'm pretty sure they know what the coach is thinking. They have been advised. They have meetings. I'm pretty sure they know what's going on. As opposed to us feeling like, oh, well, he needs to tell us. No, he really don't. There's nothing that we need to be told, because guess what? We're going to see when they take the field. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I guess you could say just from a personal standpoint, you want to know. I get it. But I'm saying at the end of the day, what difference does it make? And shout outs to Steelers Depot. You know, a lot of times that I run to those guys for a lot. I appreciate and respect everything they do, but I kind of disagree with Alex Kazor on this one, man. I saw him on Twitter, just saying, oh, Tomlin needs to say this. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. When they take the field Sunday night, we all going to see who the starter is. Or perhaps if they name the starter at the end of this week, perhaps Friday or Saturday, then we'll know. It doesn't really matter whether we know now or then. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I get we want to know, but who cares? Who cares? But we are going to talk about that here tonight. Also, what I also learned, and not necessarily from the presser, but it was interesting to hear Mike Tomlin even acknowledge it. You know, he said, I prepared for Davante Adams against the Raiders, and he didn't play. Now I got to prepare for him again. For those of you that don't know, Davante Adams has been traded to the New York Jets. He's pairing back up with Aaron Rodgers. They will be facing off against the Pittsburgh Steelers Sunday night. So quite the storylines here. Now, I'm not sure, how you guys feel about that. I will say that Davante Adams gave us some problems last year while with the Raiders, even though we were able to still win that game. Davante Adams is one of those guys. It may have to be one of those situations where it's hard to say limit him because, again, they got Garrett Wilson as well, which makes me wonder. With Aaron Rodgers and the history that he has with Davante Adams, it does make me wonder how that's going to affect Garrett Wilson. Will we start seeing some bubblings in the locker room where chemistry is a little bit off because now Aaron Rodgers is favoring this other guy? Should be interesting. But, hey, it will be a challenge for the Steelers. Again, I'll talk about that more in the before play video. But it will be a challenge. I don't care what the record says, right? And I know people always want to lean on, man, Steelers always losing or Tomlin is always losing to a subpar team that's under 500. Records don't really mean a lot in the NFL, guys. That's just it's always my opinion. And y'all know I stick true to that. Records don't mean much. Yeah, record is reflective of how well you did throughout the season or up until this point of the season, but it doesn't mean much because the Jets are a good team. I mean, this is what we're going into week? What will this be, 6? No, 7. The Jets have pieces. They just haven't been winning. Let me stop myself really quick, man, and round of applause to Jameer Sanders. Thank you for that Wonder Bread. Appreciate it. He says, if Justin don't start 51% of the games, we give a 6, not a 4th. And they promised Russ QB1 to come here, but still is no Justin has showed enough. That's a good point. I don't know if they're playing that type of game. And, that's front office games. I don't know if they're playing that type of game. But that is a good point and something to keep in mind. Jameer, appreciate it, man. Another donation, so thank you for that. He says, I want Justin to start, though. I'm pissed. We're going to talk about it, man. We're going to talk about it. I'll give you guys my thoughts. So, yeah, very interesting, man. Very interesting, night that this could be against the Jets. Again, it's Aaron Rodgers. It's Devontae Adams now. It's Breece Hall now. It's Garrett Wilson. They have defenders. We shall see. That's all I'm going to say. We shall see. I am not looking at the 2-4 record and thinking the Steelers supposed to go in there and kick their butts. Again, y'all got to still remember this is an offense that doesn't necessarily produce a lot of points. That was a one-off situation, in my opinion, what we did against the Raiders until I see us consistently put up about 24 points or so, anywhere from 21 to 24. Until I see the Steelers do that consistently, I'm not going to feel like we're going to win or beat teams that can potentially score points until I see that we're able to sustain points. Just my 2 cents. Also, Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper was traded as well, man. So I don't know what the Cleveland Browns, poor Cleveland, man. And I know some of y'all are probably laughing at that, but poor Cleveland. It just, Cleveland is one of those teams, man, that's just, as I look at my other notes here, they're just one of them teams that has had tremendous talent, right? Tremendous talent. But haven't been able to put it together. And now you ship off Amari Cooper to the Buffalo Bills. That should be interesting. Giving them another weapon, Josh Allen and crew. Should be interesting. I know, they rely on Shakira a little bit, but they don't necessarily have that stern number one threat. And whether you think Amari Cooper is a number one or not, it definitely now gives them more weapons. You can use Cooper, you can use Shakira, you can use now Kincaid will still be in the mix. The rookie kid, y'all know him, Deion. What is it? What's my man name? Coleman. So we'll see what happens with the Bills, but I think that is going to be interesting, man. I think they will get use out of Amari Cooper. So, hey, there you have it. A couple other things I want to talk about really quick, guys, before I dive into, the obvious main point of tonight. Couple things, just a little slight recaps from the game, man. I think I covered the game pretty well in the knee-jerk reaction show. I think I covered it pretty well. Just a couple little things I went back and looked at. The defense definitely settled down, man. They gave up that opening drive, but I think the defense did an outstanding job for the rest of the game. I mean, it's not much I can complain about. It's really not. I think guys were showing up, doing what they had to do. Man. From the secondary, from the front end, from the linebackers, which I'll talk about in a moment. The defense settled in, man, and they pitched a really good game. That touchdown late, even though TJ Watt talked about it, I understand why it happened. You're letting them milk the clock. You're keeping everything in front of you. At that point, the game was out of reach. But defense did well, man. And you got to give credit to a lot of these guys, man, that were not Steelers last year. I continue to say a guy like Deshaun Elliott. I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but he's playing some really good football, man. He is. He's doing a lot of things. Like what I'm seeing out of some of these guys, man. Really quick before I get back to defense, looking at the game again, George Pickens, some of those balls you got to catch, brother. He dropped a couple. He dropped a couple that I thought were catchable. Particularly that one on that little out route. I don't know if he would have got the first down because I think it was like 3rd and 13. But down on the right side. Sideline. Yeah, you got to catch that. I mean, and he had a couple that I thought were catchable and he didn't catch them. And I wanted to make sure I still felt that way after watching the footage again. Talking about defense really quick as well, man. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Boy, we got some speed at inside linebacker. Patrick Queen undoubtedly had his best game as a Pittsburgh Steeler. I think he finished the game with 11 tackles. But I'm just saying, guys, it's specific plays. Watching how he played, the speed that he showed, the sideline to sideline ability. Also, I got to talk about, man, even on that play when TJ Watt knocked the ball out. Remember on the goal line, it was Patrick Queen who blew up the gap that forced Abdullah to step back a bit to allow TJ to even be in the mix. Patrick Queen was out there balling, bro. Kudos to Patrick Queen, man. Absolutely big kudos to Patrick Queen. Played very, very well. Also, hold on, guys. I'm pulling up some other notes. Also, I got to give some credit to Peyton Wilson. Peyton Wilson as well. Showed a lot of speed out there. Man, listen, this kid chased down a screen from behind. These guys, man, yeah, we got some speed. Let me look at my notes. There's a couple other things I wanted to talk about. Let's see. That may be it, man, before I get into the meat and potatoes of show here as far as, the main topic. But I definitely wanted to discuss that, man. Our inside linebackers are playing good football, man, at least in that game. And they're just showcasing a lot of speed. Getting excited about what that tandem might be able to be. What else do I have, guys? How about this? How about we talk about the guys who had the biggest impact in the game? These would be the individuals who I think deserve, and yeah, they should be awarded with Big Hat Moment. The Big Hat Moment. Couple people on this list. There's a couple people on this list that is deserving of a tip of the big hat. Let's get to it, man. Listen, first and foremost, we got to say a tip of the big hat. Jeremiah Moon. Jeremiah Moon. Though he may not have done so much, some people might say, oh, he wasn't too effective. Hey, man, to come in there and make a game-changing play, blocking that punt, significant. Significant. Steelers put points on the boards after that. Special teams, some people say that's why they call them special, because they mean something. And you can be special on special teams. What a play. It was drawn up, but I've heard many people say even when you got it drawn up, you still have to make the play. So shout outs, man, to Jeremiah Moon, a tip of the big hat for that punt block, kind sir. Before I get into the other guys, let me just give a quick honorable mention. Let me give him a quick honorable mention for the Big Hat Moment. Patrick Queen, really quick. I just got to say it, because Patrick Queen, again, had his best game as a Steeler. I asked him to show up. I believe I called him in the office a few weeks ago. Y'all remember that? I asked him to show up, and he did against the Raiders. What a game. What a game. So I had to give him a quick honorable mention. Tip of the big hat, Mr. Patrick Queen. Okay. The next one on my list who is deserving of the Big Hat Moment, we got to talk about Dante Jackson. A real quick big hat moment. Real quick. That's 3 interceptions, sir. Great job. And also what I like about what Dante Jackson is doing, he ain't trying to just catch that thing. He trying to do something with it. So not only does he have some interceptions so far in this season, he has yak to go along with it. So Dante Jackson, you get a tip of the big hat, because that was an excellent moment And what a beautiful moment. I don't know if you guys saw it, the way they have now shown it to us, via social media with no commentary, just the sounds of the game and how loud it was. And you see TJ pumping the crowd up. I'm telling you, the next thing that's going to happen, I wouldn't be surprised one day if Renegade is played on an away game. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow we compromise the PA system. The roar of the crowd when that man got that interception, that was magical, man. Magical. Tip of the big hat to Mr. Dante Jackson. Next up, guys, let's move it right along. The next person who deserves the big head moment. Of course, TJ Watt. My Lord. Is TJ Watt playing football or is he boxing? The boy, he got a mean right hook on him, don't he? I mean, one of the first people I seen do it consistently was Peanut Tillman. And it's beautiful to see somebody come into the game and implement something, and now everybody's starting to do it. But TJ, I mean, if you notice, guys, if you really pay attention, TJ Watt, every time he goes to tackle, he's trying to punch the ball out. But also, TJ Watt does it so strategically to where he doesn't miss a tackle when he misses the ball. It's almost like it's a part of his tackle. Like he goes into his wrap up and he punches at the same time. And just so happened in this game, he did it twice. And what a big hat moment on the 2-yard line. But like I said, another reason why Patrick Queen got a tip of the big hat. Patrick Queen blew up that gap. Go back and look at the play again. He blew the gap up, which allowed TJ Watt to get where he needed to be to knock that ball out. But TJ Watt, man, just being who we know him to be. And you, my friend, get a tip of the big hat. Last but not least, for the final one of the evening, the next person who is deserving, and I'm proud to deliver the big head moment, got to be Najee Harris. Not only does he get a tip of the big hat, he gonna get a round of applause as well. Najee Harris, sir, you have been running that ball extremely hard this season, and it has paid off. You finally got that game where you got that 100 yards in, and he earned it. He earned it. Offensive line blocked decently in this game, but some of them plays he earned, like that first one. What was it, 26, 28 yards, whatever it was? How Najee, I loved hearing him explain it after the game. If you watched his interview, I loved how he said, I seen him setting up to the outside, so I gave him a little, and then I came back inside. Dog, if you somebody like me that got that running back mentality in your blood, I understood exactly what he was saying, but it was beautiful to see Najee do that. Big man, the big man Najee. Because I'm always criticizing Najee for not necessarily being, shifty. And I don't expect him to be, but I'm saying a lot of times I'm scared of him when he's one-on-one, because a lot of times he's going to try to stiff arm you or he gets tackled, right? Not on that play. Set him up perfect because it was just him and homie. He gave him that little cut back inside, and he's off to the races. And then he tried to stiff arm the other dude. Reached out there a little too early, but at that point, when you 20 plus yards down the field, I ain't complaining. But then on the toss, how about early in the game? Early in the game when he ran through the whole, I think it was the second quarter. Looks like it was nothing there. He just keep his legs churning. He turns that into like a 15, 16-yard run. Running hard all game, and then on that toss, to keep fighting. And he made Robert Spillane look silly. Robert Spillane read it, came all the way over. Najee hit him with another, made Robert, put him in the spin cycle. And then shout outs Tip of the big hat to Pat Fryermuth to get that block down the sideline, and then Najee is off to the races, and then the boy dives for the pylon. Najee Harris, a tip of the big hat, sir. Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate you. Even though a lot of people right here in this chat, they don't want you to play. They rather see somebody else start. No, I'd rather us do it exactly the way we're doing it. Let Najee lead off, and then we bring Warren and bring Patterson in as a change of pace. But Najee Harris, you, my friend, a tip of the big hat. And this concludes this edition of The Big Hat Moment. All right, let's get back to the regularly scheduled program. We had a donation. Shout outs to the last King of Scotland. Appreciate the Wonder Bread. Let's see what he has to say. He says, Justin Fields has been QB1 since day one when Russ got hurt. He has had all camp preseason and 6 games to leave no doubt with QB1 or who QB1 is. Tomlin seems not to be impressed, in my opinion. I guess. Maybe. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a moment for those who want to argue that point. You know, we'll never know. We'll never know. But you said in your opinion, that could be it. But I'm going to talk about that as I get into my main topic of the night, man. Then I'll get into the chat with you guys. Boy, does SteelerNation have quite the debate going right now. Quite the debate. And it's interesting to me to see how divided some of SteelerNation is when it comes to Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. It's funny to me because I told y'all I don't forget much, right? I'm fortunate. You know, I happen to be one of those people that have a photographic memory at times. A lot of times if I see it, I remember it. And there's people in this chat that comment, watch the show. Some of y'all I see you on Twitter. Yeah, y'all don't even know sometimes. I know who is who on Twitter sometimes, even though your name is different, because you may have said your name. And yeah. Some of y'all I happen to see because it's in my algorithm. But I remember some of you guys were so down. Oh, y'all were so down on Russell Wilson when the Steelers decided to bring him in. Oh, my God. Ooh. The things y'all said about the Steelers. Oh, my God. The things y'all said about Omar Khan's decision and Mike Tomlin's decision to bring Russell Wilson in. I mean, y'all was crucifying him. But some of y'all are the same ones now that are pounding the table for him to play over Justin Fields. My question to you is Fields playing that bad? And if he is, then what has changed your mind about Russell Wilson? Because you didn't want Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh. So what is it that you see now that all of a sudden, we want Wilson, we want Wilson, I'm cool for anybody, I'm cool with anybody who feels like they want to see Russell Wilson. I'm not disputing that. It's funny to me to see how SteelerNation at times, how we just flip-flop. It's the most amazing thing ever. And we're probably not the only fan base, but this is the only fan base that I follow. It is the funniest thing in the world to watch the emotions of SteelerNation day to day, game to game. Oh man, it's hilarious. So let me give y'all a little bit of perspective. I'm going to argue both sides of the fence. Because again, I'm about the team. I don't have an allegiance to either one of these quarterbacks. If anything, you guys know how I feel about Russell Wilson. But I'm about what's best for the team, and that's always the perspective I'm going to give. But let me give you both sides of the coin. I often have asked, what does Russell Wilson provide to this offense that would be light years ahead of Justin Fields? Here's a couple things I discovered watching this game because I was like, you know what? Let me really analyze this film. And I only got through the third quarter. This may have been perhaps the worst passing game of Justin Fields since he's been with the Steelers. Missed a few throws, right? And I've even heard others acknowledge that. Even some quarterbacks, former quarterbacks have acknowledged it, right? A lot of them are saying, but you still stick with him. Excuse me. But as I look at the film, I'll say, yeah, not only did he miss a few throws, let me tell y'all something else that I noticed. Justin Fields seems a bit gun shy at times. And for you guys who are members of this channel, I will be showing you this footage because I got the plays already marked down. I'm going to be showing you opportunities that Justin Fields had in this game, even as early as the first half, where he didn't throw it where he probably should have thrown it, not because he didn't see it. It's almost like he wasn't sure of the throw. There was a couple times where we had guys down the seam. There was times where we had a guy, Calvin Austin, on a corner route, and he checked it down the Fryer move. Y'all might remember that play. It actually was, let me see, where is it? I got it notated here. I think it was in the second quarter. It was a 1st and 10 from the Pittsburgh 20-yard line. And we ran a corner with Calvin Austin. And man, give Calvin Austin credit for how hard he goes on each and every route. Clearly his effort is there. But he comes open on the corner. And Justin Fields is looking that way because he has Moof, I think, in the flat. Moof picked up about 4, 5, or 6, something around there. It didn't pick up a lot. But he had Calvin in the corner. And what happened was it looks like the corner was kind of playing off. So they might have been playing like a cover 2 situation because the corner was kind of playing in between, flat and, flat to maybe 10 feet depth. He was kind of playing that intermediate area and it had the safety over the top. So I have to go back and watch the play to really determine what coverage they were in. But just from memory, it looks like the corner was playing a cover 2. He was kind of holding that area so he could get down to Fryer move, but then carrying a little bit. And it almost looked like Fields he spooked him. But he could have easily fit that ball in there. We saw situations against the Cowboys where he did the same. But there was quite a few. And I got them. So again, I'm not going to give it all out here. This will be exclusive content that I'm going to show the members of the channel. I'm going to try to get that video done tomorrow because I want y'all to see it. But yeah, for anybody who's advocating, and I got you in a minute, Brent, anybody who's advocating for Russell, it's these moments, and it's going to make more sense when I show it to you guys. The reason why I don't show it on this show, guys, y'all know I keep it a buck and I'm 100 real. I can't show NFL footage in this show anymore. I used to do it, but it gets striked. And I'm sorry, I do monetize this show. No shame in that. And I can't do it. So what I do for members of the channel, I show all 22 footage every week. I don't monetize on it, but because you guys are paying a monthly membership, it's a trade-off. I am not doing that with Terrible Towel. What I have entertained is maybe I might show 2 or 3 plays of a game to the masses and unmonetize it and still do a deeper dive with my channel members. But I don't know. I've entertained that, but I don't know. Time is money, guys. I'm just keeping it a buck with y'all. But anybody who's advocating for Russell Wilson, maybe Russell makes these plays. It's another play. There's another one. I got it right here. It was 3rd and 4 on the Las Vegas 24, second quarter as well. I think it was closer to halftime. The interception that Justin Fields threw. I don't know why he threw that ball. Dog, looking at the all 22, I don't know why he throws it to that guy. He had Jaylen Warren wide open in the flat. So there were some questionable decisions in this game. But like I said, more so than the bad throw. More so than some of the throws being a bit high, like that one on that one scramble drill When he rolled to his right and he had George Pickens in between the safety and the corner, missed him. That was in scoring position. But also, then he makes a play like the play that he threw to Calvin Austin. Where was it? It was a 3rd and 11 on the Pittsburgh 19, also the second quarter. He hit Calvin Austin on a scramble. Remember the one when he scrambled out to his left? And then he turns his shoulder, squares up, and throws a dart. That was a tight throw. So it's like he has the ability. So I'm going to be honest. I'm not as concerned about the misses. Every quarterback misses from time to time. Because I've seen some people say, oh, well, if Russell Wilson was in there, he would have made that throw. I've seen Russell Wilson make inaccurate throws. We can't speak in certainties like that. But what we can say, outside of some of the missed throws, Justin Fields has made phenomenal throws this season. Coming to y'all in a minute with the donations. I don't want to forget this point. He has made great throws. He's made some bad throws. I can deal with that. I can deal with allowing that kid to grow. Because, again, what you're going to lose without Fields is quarterback design runs, quarterback draw. We saw him do one in the game where he picked up 15 yards. You're going to lose the design runs. Not saying that Russell Wilson can't be mobile, but you're going to lose the design QB runs. Consider how many first downs the Steelers have picked up this season and touchdowns off of Justin Fields' legs. Take that completely out of the offense. But Russell Wilson may not be afraid to let it rip. And again, pure speculation. I do not know what's in Justin Fields' head. Nobody's confirmed this for me. I'm just saying, when I look at the tape and I look at where Justin Fields is looking, there were times in this game where he's looking in the direction of the guy where he's open. It's an NFL throw. You can make that throw. I seen you make the throw. And it's almost like he's gun shy. I'm like, why would I showed it to my wife? If she was in here, she'll tell you. I was like, babe, look, here's another one. I showed her. And she was like, look, on the Calvin Austin one, true story. On that corner route, I went over to her. I said, babe, tell me who he should have passed to right here. I'm not even going to tell you. I hit play. And she was like, oh, he should have threw it to that guy. I was like, exactly. But he checked it down. So for anybody saying you're advocating for Russ, maybe Russell Wilson does that better. And maybe that produces more points. I don't know. But if you're arguing Justin Fields, like I said, you take a lot of conversions and running touchdowns and the threat of the run from QB completely out of the offense. So it's this. Which way you want it? Which poison do you want? Just in this game on Sunday, you saw moments where if Russell Wilson was back there, it's probably a sack. And that's not a shot at Russell. I'm just saying some of those escapes, that play when Broderick Jones looked like he didn't know what was going on. He was the only one out of the 11. I don't think Russell makes that play. Not at this stage of his career. And understand what I'm saying. Russell Wilson, yes, can still be mobile. Was a little mobile last year for the Broncos. However, he's not going to be the design run quarterback, I don't think. I don't think you do that with Russell Wilson. So that's the point I wanted to make, guys. Let me get to a couple of the donations and shout outs. A round of applause to Brent Fox, man, who has been an extended member of the family, channel member for 36 months, man. I appreciate you, dog. Wow. This is an excellent point. He says, Sim, I may be playing devil's advocate, but if I need to win a game right now, I take Russell Wilson. If I'm building a franchise, I take Justin Fields. That's a great point. That's a great point. And that's the thing. So even though you guys have heard me say these last several weeks, I don't know, I might stick with Just. I'm saying Just as if I was saying Russ. I've been saying I might stick with Fields, but I'm not going to be disappointed if Russell Wilson plays. And I think some people may have misconstrued that. I'm not arguing against Russell Wilson. I love Russell Wilson. I can't say it more. I've said it 1,000 times on this show. I just fear that right now, the way the offense is kind of up and down in terms of pass protection, did okay in this game, but there was too many times where Fields was under duress. I don't know if Russell right now escapes those the same way Justin has when things break down. That's my only concern. And I think us having the zone reads, guys, we ran a speed option in this game. A speed option. You're not running that with Russell Wilson. That's the only thing that concerns me with the way Arthur Smith has constructed this offense. We're going to lose a chunk of it without Fields. However, it could be very possible, let's not forget, that they said early on that there would be packages for Fields. So there could be a whole different side of the playbook that they have for Russell Wilson. I don't know. So that's why I'm not going to be upset. Russell might go in there and ball out. Like I said, I think Russell reads those. I think he reads those guys more than Fields at this state of his career. I think Russell would see the Calvin Austin. He takes that shot. There's another one down the seam, man, that, oh, man. Oh, I don't know why Justin didn't let it rip. He's looking right at it. I think Russell takes those shots. Let's get to some more of the donations, man. We have Jameer Sanders, and we also had Jameer twice, and then we have Lee Sharp. Round of applause to both of you gentlemen. Excellent point, Jameer. That is the question. He says, does Russell score that touchdown on 4th and goal? That's my point. So I want you guys to understand what you're losing if we go with Russ. Now, Russ might get in there and light it up. What if Russell go in there and throw 350 every game? He might. I don't know. I'm just not 100% sure because I'm not sold on the offensive line right now with the ups and downs with those guys, especially the way our tackles are playing. I'm just not, you know what I mean? I'm a little hesitant to put Russell Wilson back there in that situation. Lee Sharp says, Russell won't be out there long if Broderick Jones don't get his act together. I really can't relate to the struggling that bad because you are on the right instead of the left side. My point exactly, man. I'm concerned with what happens with Russell with the current play of the tackles largely. I'm not asking these guys to make every block, but I'm saying there's too many times that I've noticed that our QB has been under duress. That scares me. Russell can escape, sure. Russell has been an escapability type of QB, but I don't think he can do it to the level that Justin has done it in this stage of his career. Jameer Sanders says, but is there enough time for wide receivers to separate often? Yeah. There's a lot of questions, guys. It is. It really is a lot of questions, man. And it's funny. We got an interesting decision to make here if you're Mike Tomlin. I think if you see what I explained to you guys tonight, the opportunities where Justin Fields, and I was explaining this to my wife as well. I was like, if Coach Tomlin and QB coach and Arthur Smith are analyzing the film, and I'm sure they are, but if they're viewing the film the same way I am and saying, Justin should have did this there, Justin should have did that there, they appreciate what he's done with his legs. But if they're looking at it from a straight up quarterbacking scenario and they are saying to themselves, see, we need somebody to make that throw, that could be a reason why you see Russell Wilson. Round of applause to CT Pittman, man. I appreciate the Wonder Bread. Got a good crowd here tonight, man. I appreciate all of y'all coming out, especially if you're new. And I will say something to the newcomers here in a moment. CT Pittman says, only reason I'm not tripping about Russ is 26-8 last year. Okay, I'm with you. I don't mind seeing what he can do in this offense. I'm with you. That's the funny thing. Like, I know when you hear me campaign for Justin, I know people are probably like, oh man, no. Again, I am a huge Russell Wilson fan. The man is from my hometown. I've been rooting for him his whole career. I have been saying, and Kenyon is my witness, and I know Kenyon is going to say it in this chat. Prove my witness. He knows that I have been saying, man, for years, the Russell's deep ball has been one of my favorites in this era. That boy accuracy on the deep ball has always been special. Special. So thank you, Kenyon. I love Russ, but I'm just speaking objectively about the football team. And that should prove to you guys that I have no bias in me when it comes to these players, these coaches. Nah, I'm only speaking from my mind. Now, you might not always agree with my point. I might not always agree with yours, but I'm always speaking from my perspective and my opinion. But yeah, see, CT is right. I won't mind seeing it either. I'm a little nervous because of the state of the O-line. I'm a little nervous. But we'll see. Round of applause to Jose Goncalves. I hope I'm saying that correctly, man. Please forgive me if I'm not. Thank you for the Wonder Bread. See? See? There's different opinions. That's why I said SteelerNation is debating. He says, people talking like this is 2015, Russ. It's not. It's 2024. Can't push a sled without getting hurt, Russ. That hasn't played well in 4 years. The only challenge I have to you there, Jose, is he did play well last year. I know Denver kind of tainted the way he played down the stretch, but he played well. 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That's not bad. But you're right. It's not 2015 Russell Wilson. That is an excellent point that cannot go unnoticed. Stillberg, appreciate the Wonder Bread, man. Y'all doing it heavy. Y'all got me going to school tomorrow with all the lunch money. I could buy a little shorty a lunch if I want. Round of applause. Side note, only the real ones understand that comment. You know how we used to do when we was young punks in school. Even as early as elementary. Hey, I got your little chocolate milk. Trying to be a little Mac Daddy when you was young. Stillberg says, regarding this Sunday night, if the Steelers can't put up points, it might get ugly fast. Aaron Rodgers is a statue, but he doesn't need to use his legs. He knows where to throw the ball, similar to Flacco. Boy, that is an excellent point. This is why I say, and I know the boo birds are going to come out, oh man, Tomlin, he have him ready to play. Oh, he's always losing to subpar teams, blah, blah, blah. Don't believe that 2-4 record. We've seen this happen in the NFL millions of times, but a record doesn't always mean they're still NFL players. It's Aaron Rodgers with potent weapons on that offense, now adding another one. They can run it. They can pass it. They have defense. So Stillberg is absolutely correct. We need to score. We need to score. We need another 32-point game. Maybe not that much, but we need to, that 24-point mark, 21 to 24. We need at least 21 points, and we need to possess the football and take that air out of that ball. Excellent point, man. I appreciate you. He said, just like Flacco, you ain't never lied. All right, we got some more Wonder Bread, man. The master of music. Thank you for the donation. He says, remember, we knew that Broderick was a project when he was drafted. That's a fair point. It's a fair point. But, yeah, Broderick got to get it together, man. And hopefully he will. And maybe he won't, And again, I'm not going to do what most fans say either. I'm not going to say, oh, it's a bust. Guys, this happens to every football team. Sometimes guys hit, sometimes they don't. Because for every bust that you say that the Steelers drafted, I can show you a superstar that they drafted. Yeah, I said it, superstar. I'm just saying, it's all a luck of the draw sometimes. Guys don't always play the way they projected. It just how it goes. It's like a scratch off ticket. So 50-50 proposition. But yeah, that's what I got as far as Russ, man. I'm not gonna be upset, but I do think Tomlin has to make the decision, man. Hey Debbie, my girl Debbie, how you doing? How are you doing? Because I know you've been ripping and running. You be traveling with your job. It's always good to see you, and I hope you're well. I hope they're taking care of you. I hope they're not working you to death, but I hope you're getting everything that you deserve, which is the reason why they got you working like that. But I'm glad and happy to see you, man. The OG Debbie, man. I say OG because she's been around for a long time here rocking with me. That is my girl right there. But she's right. She said, nah, Sim, for every bust, there's a Hall of Famer. I'm just saying. But what y'all got, man? It's unfortunate that Blog Talk didn't let us rock tonight. But what y'all got, man? We got a few minutes here. Whatever y'all want to say, man, let me know what y'all got for me. Let me go back up here to Malvo. Malvo says, y'all forgetting that Justin been in the league for years. Y'all act like this dude don't know the business of the NFL. I'm not sure what you're referring to when you say know the business. Are you replying to somebody else? Wait, your previous comment says, Fields doesn't have a cannon. It's a good arm. Not accurate. Reminds me of Kenny. I'll disagree with you there, Malvo. I think his arm is better than Kenny Pickett's. Just that piece. But everything else is subjective. That's your opinion, but I absolutely think his arm is better than Kenny Pickett. I would not compare those two guys. Kenny Pickett has not and did not do half of what Justin Fields has already done for the Steelers. I'm just saying. But, and I'm sorry, Justin Fields to me has an excellent arm. Might not be super accurate. I think he can improve that, but there's no problem with Justin Fields' arm. We just don't agree there. But I respect your comment. Kenya says, yeah, Fields has a gun. Joe Manick says Fields is light years ahead of Kenny. Yeah, I don't get the Kenny comparison, but it's all good. Debbie, she says, I'm good and I am trying, and if they don't, I'm leaving. She said, like these G Zenners do. Yeah, man, the Gen Zs, boy, they don't stay nowhere long, right? Make me feel crazy how long I've been in my gig. I mean, but you look at it like this, Debs. We probably got into our gigs and settled in a lot earlier, which is the reason why we're there. And, they take care of me. Salary's good and all of that, managing folks. And I get tired of doing that sometimes, because it's anybody who's in management understands what I'm saying without me saying it. But you're right. Then the Gen Z folk, they in and out. I ain't mad at it. Not mad at it. Claude Bishop, round of applause, man. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate the Wonder Bread. Claude. There you go. Claude just making me humble again, man. I appreciate the kind words. I appreciate it if that's how you feel. He says, saying hello to everyone, and this is by far the best Steelers podcast on the net, man. I appreciate that. And again, all of that is subjective as well. Myself, I don't even try to compete with none of these other folks. The big wigs, the little wigs, none of them. I just do me from the perspective of a casual fan that knows a little football, that takes time to study the game and played football, and that's it. And I would say I'm probably one of the realists. I say that, but humbled, man. Really, really appreciate the comment there. He says, who else we got here? Steely McBeaman. What up, Steely? Oh, Steely talking about something else. He's talking about the SEC. Okay, y'all can talk about college, or y'all talking about a player, yada, yada, yada. What else y'all got? David Jones Jr. says, remember, if Fields plays 51% of the snaps of the Bears, 51 of the snaps, the Bears get a 4th round instead of a 6th. Maybe that's how something has something to do with it. Maybe. And that is very possible. See, here's the thing. I'm going to hang right there because somebody else said that earlier in the show. This is why I say to you guys and gals, I never speculate. Well, we all speculate. Let me rephrase that. I never tried to use speculation as fact or to bet the house on speculation. Let me explain what I'm saying. With Steeler, who just said that? David Jones just said, what if when they brought these two guys in and Tomlin had kept saying that Russ is in pole position, yada, yada, yada. What if they've already established to Justin Fields, listen, you're going to be our future. Excuse me. What if they've already established that you're going to be our future? He wanted to come there. You're the future. We're going to get a deal done with you to keep you here, and we're going to work with you for the foreseeable future. But at the same time, we got Russell over here, and we're going to just be honest with you. We ain't trying to come up off no fourth when we have another option. You never know. You never know. It's a business. You never know. So maybe. However, flip side of that coin, if they stick with Fields, maybe they feel like he's worth a fourth. So that's the interesting thing about it. It's things that we'll never know. So I never try to over speculate on anything, and I don't use speculation to fuel my narrative. There's the statement. I don't allow speculation to fuel my narrative. Boom. That's the phrase. Round of applause to the infamous Tim as well as Jameer Sanders again. Another donation, man. You guys with the Wonder Bread. Thank you. The infamous Tim says, we kept Mason in last year, but we're pulling. I ain't even got to finish that sentence. It is an interesting. Let me tell you something, man. That's why I said in the title, SteelerNation is arguing an interesting point right now. For those who want to pull Fields, for those who want Russ, for those of us that's kind of questioning the decision, like I do wonder if it is Russell, like what is it? What is it that makes them feel like they should take Fields out the way he's been playing? Like I said, if I'm looking at it from that lens, what I've seen from Fields is there's times that he's not taking shots that he should take. And a couple times where he's staring down a receiver. But here's the interesting thing. Y'all remember this? In a couple games ago, remember when we were talking about how Fields was going through his reads? You could clearly see him reading it. So it's not like he can't do it. It seems like maybe it's a consistency thing. But like I said, it almost looks like in this game, I'm going to show y'all, the channel members, you're going to see it. I got specific examples where it looks like he's just hesitant to let it fly. Could be in his own head. He could be focusing on not turning the ball over. It could be a lot. I don't think it's ability. Anything that you guys feel that's wrong with Justin Fields, I absolutely believe it could be coached up. I've seen enough to feel like you can win with this guy. You can make this guy a dangerous football player with some coaching and development. My personal opinion. And Jameer says, he says he's right. The realest podcast, you real AF. Appreciate it, man. Really appreciate that. God, we got another one, man. Look at y'all. Yo, boy, I tell y'all with the lunch money, man. CT Pittman, round of applause. Good point. He says, I'm more worried about Breece Hall than the Jets wide receivers. They had a lot of drops Monday, and Adams coming off of a hammy. You know those can be tricky. You're absolutely correct. The Steelers have been relatively decent, but we've been a little leaky at times with the run, so you're right. We have to maintain that focus and make sure Breece Hall doesn't get going, and we don't want Aaron Rodgers to be able to play action down the field. So that's an excellent point, CT. What else y'all got? My man 412 was saying something. He says 412 born and raised says I still don't think Fields messed up to the point that they need to go with Russell. That's what I'm saying, man. That's why it's an awkward situation for me. It's awkward because I don't feel like, and I stand on this, even with the critiques that y'all heard me say about Justin Fields from Sunday, I just can't say that Fields has lost a game for us. And that's where it makes it interesting. And I hate to agree with, a lot of the media pundits because sometimes they just be talking. But most people are saying you go with Fields, you keep Fields in there. I could not agree more. I'm not going to be mad to see what Russell Wilson is able to do because I still think there's talent, obviously, with Russ, even at this stage of his career. But I don't see a definitive reason why, as a coach, I say, I'm going to take him out and put him in. Unless they are also viewing the things that I saw with my own eyes watching the 22 of this game, where there's times where Fields appears to be gun shy and he doesn't take shots that are right there in front of him. That's the only thing I can come up with. But I still don't think that his play has played him out of the lineup. Interesting, man. But I feel like we're in a good position. Maybe you can't go wrong. Maybe if you put Russell out there and you see that it's not working for a couple games, hey, maybe you go with Russell Wilson in the Jets game, and then who we got after that? The Giants, right? And let's say he doesn't have the best of games, and then in the bye week, and you come back with Fields. I think we're in a good position because we see what we can do with Fields. So even if they go with Russell and Russell doesn't work out, you know what you can go back to. But it's a very interesting, very interesting decision, man. Malvo says y'all don't want to see. I don't understand these type of comments, man. I'm all for everybody disagreeing and all that, but what I don't understand and what I try to keep us from doing over here in this environment is stop all of the finger pointing. Like he says, y'all don't want to talk real because that's facts. Defense is 4-2. Obviously, the defense has led the team, but you know what also is facts? How many of these touchdowns has Justin Fields scored? Like, I don't know why we go so hard to disprove something. I'm just speaking as a fan. Again, I'm speaking for myself. I can't speak for everybody else in the chat. I have no problem if they want to give Russell Wilson a try to see if maybe he puts more points on the board. I have zero problem with the theory. As someone who loves Russell Wilson as a player. My only concern as a fan, you take any design QB run that we've been doing and scoring on and converting on, that's gone. The escapability. Russell Wilson has done that his whole career, but can he do it to the level that Justin Fields has had to do it this season? With the way this offensive line is playing in totality. Those are my only concerns. Those concerns as Steelers fans shouldn't have us knocking Justin Fields and trying to pull all these points out of our you-know-whats. And, what about, I don't understand why we do this as fans. Like, so we gonna say Justin Fields has had nothing to do with the Steelers winning? Like, y'all got to stop, man. Y'all got to stop, bro. If you don't like him, you don't like him, but just say that. That's what I love when people keep it a buck. To change the subject a little bit, because this is America, I'm going to say it. It's the same way I feel about, I hate people who are covert. I like people to just say they don't like me right out the gate. All right, cool, I know where you stand. Versus the ones who kick it with you. And smile on your face, they dap you up, all that, and then behind your back, They got all these kind of things to say about you and your kind. That's all I'm saying, dog. If y'all don't like him, just say that. Like, don't give me the empty comments. Just say, yo, I'm just not a fan of how Justin Fields played. Good. We done right there. I respect that, and I'll keep it moving. But don't give me the empty comments like, well, really the defense is the one. Man. So if that's the case, did the defense lose the Cowboy game? Who y'all put that on? If we're gonna say it's the defense. But it's all good. It's all good, Malvo. I'm just saying. I mean, and don't take it personal, dog. I'm just talking. Don't take everything I say to heart. I call it an empty comment because I just feel like a lot of times some of you guys just throw things out there to me that don't stick. But that's where we could agree to disagree. It's all good. But all I can say, man, is, again, not many people can answer the question where you say that Russell Wilson outright takes this offense to the next level. Many of y'all can't answer that. I can't even. The only thing that I can think of is what I outlined tonight. There's times where I felt like Justin Fields had an open opportunity on certain routes. He didn't pull the trigger. I believe a Russell Wilson might do that. Other than that, I cannot sit here right now tonight as a Russell Wilson fan and definitively say how he takes this offense to the next level with the current condition of the up and down play of the offensive line and us barely being able to run the ball, even though we did Sunday. Thank you, Najee. I cannot definitively say where Russell Wilson takes this offense to the next level. That is why I'm not so ha-ha, rah-rah, and pumping the pom-poms for Russell. That's the only reason. The only reason. And I think, again, my opinion, I'll own it and say I think, understanding that everybody doesn't think the same way. I think we all as a fan base who are watching these games should be able to see that. Like, seriously, let's talk real for a second. Every last one of us who watch these games and understand football, because I get it. Some people are highlight watchers. That's not a knock. It's just reality. Some people casually watch the game. They don't look at the ins and outs. Any of us that understand what's happening on the field should all come to that same conclusion. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we plug him in where it just takes off. I don't know. Now, if it does, great. But I can't identify anything to say, oh, he'll take this to the next level because of the O-line, because of the amount of times that Fields has had to create with his legs, and because of the amount of design runs that Arthur Smith is doing with Fields. So, I don't know, man. Maybe some of y'all know better than me, and if you do, I'm willing to learn. I'm just saying it should be clear. It should be clear. But listen, if Russell gets in there, I'm sitting here on the before play show, and I'm saying, look, I hope Russell do this. Let's go, Russ. And I'm fully just to show y'all how real I am. If Russell is a starter, I'm going to be fully supportive of him. Fully. Because I'm about the team. I don't have a favorite here. I don't hate Justin Fields. I don't hate Russell Wilson. I don't hate any of the players. I root for any of them dudes who suit up and they play on that field. That's all I got. All right, I'll spend a few more minutes, man. Let me see what else y'all got in here. Morgs. What up, Morgs? Morgs says, Russ is a better passer and may not need to run as much. Russ can deliver a better pass, and maybe the wide receivers will actually be used. We act like Russ can't run. He can. He can do both. I respect Morgs' comment. He gave me some context, some substance. So just to respond to you, Morgs, the only part about the run game I'm saying is I do not think we do the design QB runs with Russell Wilson. I don't think we do that. Russell Wilson is definitely mobile. Russell Wilson is a wizard in the pocket. But Russell Wilson at this stage of his career, as recent as last year, he takes a lot of sacks. He's not the same mobile Russ. So that's all I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you. I said that earlier in the show. I think Russell Wilson, some of those throws that Justin is not attempting and some of the ones that he's missing on, I think Russell is more accurate. But I can't be confident about that until I see it in action, because I'm just looking at how this offensive line is protected. It makes me a little more nervous for Russ, because I've been feeling more like you're better off with Fields, who can escape some of these things, because I feel like Russ might be a sitting duck behind the inconsistency of the O-line. But I appreciate more, because I'm going to give you a round of applause. That's the type of comments I love. He's making his case. He's not just saying loose comments. Shout outs and respect to Morgs, man. Erica J. Hello, Erica. Seems like another lovely lady in the chat. So hello, we take care of our ladies over here. Fellas say hello. Erica says, Fields or Wilson, let's get the dub. Nice to have options. You're absolutely correct. At the end of the day, that's all it should be about. That's all it should be about. You are absolutely correct. Throat puncher. What a name there. Russ may do better at passing, but I believe if Justin keeps the chemistry and refine it a little, it will reach levels we'd like to see us at. Man, that's all I'm saying when it comes to the Justin Fields side. See, I can argue both sides, and I try not to, because I'm going to go with whatever player plays. But that part, that can't be ignored either. I think there is something to build on with Justin Fields, and like you said, the chemistry. And that's an excellent point. Nobody's talking about the chemistry. Like, you hear these narratives, and we don't know if they're true, but you hear all of this talk about how the players like playing for him. That could change. It could change when Russ gets out there. So we got to factor all that in as fans. But that's a real statement right there. 12 Gauge Hemi says, I'm not happy, but I'm not mad at it either. I'm low-key trying to see how Russ runs the offense. And I don't think any of us could disagree with that either. That's why I said I'm not going to be mad. I am kind of interested to listen, as a Russell fan, I am interested to know what Russell Wilson would have done or will do with this offense. I ain't going to front. But now that I've seen 6 games of it, I'm like, oh, man. The question is, can Russell be effective in this offense the way they are playing? With the inconsistent pass protection and run game, does that allow Russell Wilson to be successful? That is my only question. If so, hooray. I will be cheering to the high heavens. It all remains to be seen. We shall see. Michael Rodriguez says, Russell Wilson is definitely the better passer, but you can use Justin Fields and Wildcat in other situations. Yeah, I hope we do that at least. I hope we, get a couple packages out there where Fields is still on the field. Yeah, absolutely. I think we kind of said that before the season started. I remember saying I would like to see that. Even when Russell was named the starter, I would like to see Fields definitely still, have some, kind of like the Flacco and Lamar. When Lamar was young, utilize both quarterbacks. Ezekiel says Fields hasn't been effective. Okay, I guess I don't necessarily agree with that, but I respect it. JAR, what does that say? I'm gonna just say JAR. He says Russ can score without O-line or wide receivers. Those guys, I think he says Russ can't score without O-line or wide receivers. Those guys are trash. Couple more guys, then I'm out of here. I've already went over time. Eric Walker says Pickens should have 3 touchdowns, but it's not because of Fields not getting him the ball. That's a good point, Eric. Kenya says, I don't care who plays. I just want consistency with our offense. And that includes O-line, wide receivers, running backs, tight ends. Fields is still a work in progress. Cannot argue with that at all with what Kenya just said, man. That is facts, though. Round of applause, man. More and more Wonder Bread from Jose. Thank you. He says, this quarterback drama is not how you run a professional sports team. This looks like a Jets clown show. I'm with you, man. Oh, wait. Jace came back. He says, nah, Russ can throw and catch the ball by himself. One man army. Oh, man. All right, man. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up right here, man. This has been an excellent show, man. I appreciate y'all, man. A lot of y'all tuned in tonight. Let me see who's still hanging in there right now. We still at 180, man. I love y'all, man. I really love y'all supporting the show, man. Much love to everybody. Appreciate y'all coming through. And hey, just for anybody who may be new to the show, let me show you this right here. Normally, I have phone calls. Blog Talk Radio did not cooperate with us tonight, so I couldn't take calls. But normally on Tuesday night, we have phone calls. Phone number is right there on the screen, 619-924-0818. Keep that in your Rolodex for the next time. I look forward to the calls. But also, what I'm starting to incorporate now is I do what's called a before play show. It's a pregame. I'm starting to stream that now. I think I'm going to stream that as opposed to it being an uploaded recording. So look out for that. I'm going to shoot for more than likely Friday night. If it's not Friday, it may be Saturday. I can't always commit to the day because of my schedule, and it's the weekend, you know. Got things to do with the family, but I'm going to shoot for this Friday. So make sure everybody's looking out for that. New and old, all of my veterans and any of the new viewers, the Before Play show is now going to be a stream. So look out for that. So with that being said, make sure if you subscribe to the channel, you turn on those notifications. Let me remind you. Boom, boom, boom. Right there. Subscribe, hit the like. But make sure you turn on your notifications, because if you don't do that, how would you know if the video has been uploaded or live streaming? Outside of that, man, I hope you guys have a great rest of the night. Stay safe. Stay healthy. God bless. Good night. Like always, thank all of you for tuning in. I shall catch you in the next one, and I will see you in a few days for the Before Play against the Jets, Week 7. Peace.